Thanks for logging on to WCBI.com. I'm meteorologist Jacob Dickey. On this Tuesday, I'm expecting lots of sunshine out there. Temperatures will be climbing into the upper 80s and low 90s through the afternoon. We'll see a few clouds into the afternoon as well, with general north winds between 3 and 8 miles an hour. Notice after lunch, just a few light clouds out there, nothing of concern. It'll be a nice summer-like day, and things will wind down tonight. We'll get a clear sky overnight tonight yet again. 94 is where we end up in Tupelo, 93 in Pontotoc and in Houston. We'll hit 94 in New Albany. And you'll see the warm temperatures also into the Golden Triangle, 93 in Columbus and in West Point, 92 in Louisville and in Ackerman. We'll get to 92 also in Winona. Heat index values today will be yet again between 95 and 100 at times, and we'll feel like we'll actually get to 93 in Vernon and in Solent. 92 will be our high in Fayette. As we look ahead here, high pressure seems to take control. Notice the tail end of a weak front that tries to slide on in. That may bring in some drier air Wednesday night into Thursday, but it won't last long. We're looking at warm temperatures and that muggy air to stick around for us. Time for a tropical update. Peak tropical season, the peak of the Atlantic hurricane season, is September 10th, and right on cue, we've got an active Atlantic basin here. Over the next 5 days, we're watching 5 different systems here. Here's one coming off the coast of Africa, has a 60% chance of developing. This one right here will lift off to the north and to the west, steering away from the mainland U.S., has a 90% chance of developing. And then we've got one that's will be off behind Dorian. That has a 30% chance of developing. It would lift off to the north and to the east. Of course, Dorian right here, a Category 3 storm. And then in the Gulf of Mexico, this system right here has an 80% chance of developing into a tropical cyclone. That will slide off to the south and west and stay away from the mainland United States in the near term. With all of the active systems that are looking to develop over the next 5 days, we could easily add to this list fairly quickly. Ferdinand, Gabrielle, Humberto, Imelda, Jerry, just some of the next ones down the line for us this season. Dorian, of course, is the big story. Let's talk about that this morning here. As of the 4 a.m. update, it was a storm with 120-mile-an-hour winds here just to the north and east of Freeport. Really been sitting in the same area here. You see these awkward wobbling of the eye as it basically is stationary. You think of Freeport here. In Monday morning, Freeport was getting northwest flow on the backside of that eye, and yet again they are still getting that there. Now the eye not looking nearly as organized here this morning. It seems like it shrank a little bit. It's filling in, which is typical for storms that are showing signs of weakening, but I think weakening is the wrong word here. Still a very strong Category 3 with 120-mile-an-hour sustained winds, gust even higher than that. Radar presentation, the eye wall right here, and so basically what's happening is clouds are filling into the eye. Nothing that's unusual for tropical systems. Now hurricane warnings are extended now all the way from West Palm Beach up to Jacksonville. We've got hurricane watches off beyond that into Georgia and the Carolinas. That's because Dorian continues its northward path here. It's stationary now. It's expected to slowly lift off to the north here then as a Category 3 storm along the Florida coast. Will likely stay at Category 3 as it passes by the Carolinas here until it gets to North Carolina, Category 2, and then looks like it will stay off the eastern seaboard. Still too close to call. For certain is some heavy rain coming into areas here. The models still predict along coastal areas. Could see up to a foot of rain, and that continues into the Carolinas. Notice we're dry in our region. No rain is expected for us over the next 7 days here. In fact, checking some of the data this morning, the 8 to 14 day outlook also has us warmer than normal and drier than normal. So it may be at least 2 weeks before we see any sort of widespread measurable rainfall across our region.